To God be all the glory on this beautiful Wednesday morning. It's already Wednesday. Can you believe that? Can you believe that it's already Wednesday and this week is flying? Lord Jesus, and I did basically nothing. I did basically nothing but been hanging out with you guys. Okay, while I'm on this suspension from work, I got today is Wednesday, March 26th of 2025. I'm just waiting for people to come on in. But before you do, or if you're already here, just want to go into a word of prayer. Our Father, okay? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou you are the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen, amen, amen. Yes, you got to give God thanks every day you open your eyes, how the Lord is pouring out new things to you and giving you an understanding of things. So I know I shared this before with you all about what's going on now, what's going on in the hip hop world and in our music world and the things that's taking place with the takedown of the music industry in Hollywood. Um, the fire is burning and burning. Well, I'm just glad from that R. Kelly is safe. I'm just glad that R. Kelly is safe, and I'm just gonna leave it as that. Um, God is good. God made sure that R. Kelly was the first one out of it before he teared down Sodom and Gomorrah. Because actually, to me, in the spirit, is telling me that industry is Sodom and Gomorrah. Of all the things that they're saying that has been going on behind these people's music careers and how they give people merit, which really these people had to um, do things unwillingly just to deserve these kind of awards. I was telling you yesterday, yes, that's the way I see it. When I was telling you yesterday about how long some people have been in entertainment, how long they've been in the game, in the spotlight, how long they worked and everything. That's the way we see it. That's the way we supposed to see it. Okay. This is the way they supposed to let us see it, where the talent of the artist actually is being weighed on the fact that they worked hard, um, they are gifted, they basically brought something new to the game, to the audience to bring in more revenue, whatever it is that people buying out at their concerts, people buying their songs are streaming, and blah and so on and so on. Now it's streaming, but I'm saying back then it was like albums, how many albums you sell, songs that went, platinum, golden, concerts you did, you gave a good performance, you were timely on your concert, whatever. Just like your own job, all the stuff that you work hard to do, even at your own job, where sometimes there is people that are in power that abuse their employees. They abuse the staff. They would with certain types of treatment and silence them so they won't go out and tell it to nobody else so it could stay right there in the industry and that the industry doesn't get any kind of spotlight on them. So being around Diddy and his very controversial lifestyle and the kind of people Diddy was bringing around the business, Right. And he was getting away with it for a long time because he was, I mean, Biddy was out there, he was marketing, his clothing line. Um, Kate and all the rest of them was they getting this money and clothing line, and then they getting these young, inspiring artists that they scout out and they bring them to these parties or whatever where they make business supposed to be business negotiations, but then it's some kind of organized crime going on behind the business where people are being silenced, people are performing certain activities just to get a chance. There's some things that are just too detailed, too graphic for me to be out here on the news or on anybody's conversation on anything. It's like straight up, everything is going on behind that music industry. Everything that is not good morally and just very, to me, sinister. Okay? Just sinister, just sin, all over the place, nasty, dirty, filthy sin. When you have other men performing certain acts to other men just so that they can get a spot in the spotlight, it's disgusting. That is when they selling their souls in there to the devil, to the devil. But still, in all, if you in this kind of game with music and entertainment and acting and all this stuff and being a star, it can cost you your soul. And that's something you just don't want to do. That's why some entertainers that no matter how great they were and people was like, well, what happened? They got out before they got in it too dirty. They come in, they make a hit, and they move on. They just do it that way. They don't try to stay in the spotlight too long. People that I can give you an example of from my time, I could say Stephanie Mills, her great vocals and everything. She played on The Wiz when she started out with that. I think Stephanie did The Wiz when she was like around 15, 16 years old, and she was a teenager then. And as her career advanced more, she was in the music industry and trying to change her image. She had a nose job done. She tried to lighten her skin. It's a lot of things that Stephanie Mills had to um, tried to had done to herself to fit in. And plus she was a small woman. She's about a 4'11", but she got some vocals on her. She got a very good unique talent about her because how small she is and how she can carry that small woman can just blow. Even when she was a teen, that's what made her shine, with that unique gift she had. That was people attention to her. So anyway, going back to the story. So she gets married to this guy from the group Shalimar, and he got all this drama going on. Of course, this woman almost barely a nervous breakdown. The guy from the Shalimar group, I can't even remember his name, but if you do some of your research or whatever, you will find out who he is. Only one from the Shalimar one is I like is their lead singer. And I like Jody Watley. She was good. But other than the rest, I don't really. But anyway, they make a name for themselves out there in the spotlight as a star, and guess what? They leave, but they still leave with their name and branch off and do their own thing on their own. They become independent artists. And that's why when you hear like some of them, they go to places that they sing and perform at certain events. You'll hear their name pop up that time. But other than that, they don't let the music company own the rights over them. They go on. They get their music, they get whatever they did, and they just move on. Okay, the same thing Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly been trying to do. His own independent songwriters with contracts. The worst thing he did was to sign any contract with them. You got to sign some kind of business agreement when you do something. But the thing is that his work was so great that they wanted to rip him off. They want to just like take his music, let this artist sing and get the credit for it, and don't give him any credit for the songs. And it's wrong. He don't mind stepping out of the spotlight because I mean he knows that he's getting tired and older. He doesn't want to sit and perform and do all of that stuff that Chris Brown be doing on the stage because he can't do that anymore. And he knows he can't do it. He just want to get his money and just move on with his life and be a probably a big record company himself, a producer or whatever. But see, they want to block him. They want to put his name in some dirt and scandal, saying that Robert Sylvester Kelly is behind some of the crimes. But because him being there, him doing performance, and him being signed to their legal company or whatever, so that makes him involved as well. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're not going to talk too much about that. We're going to move on and talk about what I'm talking about here about how they're trying to give Jay Z the time to move, like not leave the country, not jump bail, not try to, exile or anything of that nature. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get Jay-Z to turn him own self in. That's why they keep coming with the video, because the video is like telling him this is an alert. You remember when people are used to be on TV, remember television? It used to be like they give you a face of the criminal and then they'll tell you about all the things that the criminal did. This is when the feds are coming after them and they putting everybody, they sounding the alarm to the public, letting the public know you're dealing with a dangerous criminal, da da da. And if you are aiding and abetting them or hiding the person or whatever like that, you will also be held responsible. If you know where they at, that means mother, wife, children. If you got older grown children, whatever, they gonna come looking for you through sometimes your family members. They gonna come knock down. They showed you, they demonstrated to you that the feds, they gangster. Okay, they the highest gangsters of all the gangsters in in this American government. Okay, the feds are gangsters, trained Marine, whatever they are, they're gangsters. You dealing with the government, so there's no way around it but to turn yourself in so you could move away from all the them coming and with their force. You don't want them coming with their force, so they giving him an opportunity to just come in quietly and do it quietly, to come in and be able to stand before the courts on these allegations. His attorneys are saying, they advising him, they're not giving him good representation, because all they doing is keep filing the claims and saying that Jay-Z is telling he doesn't know these women. He doesn't know what they're talking about. This such a thing did not happen, and that this is just some game. They know that. Believe me, the feds, everything that they filed, they just, while they're on the investigation, let me explain something. The criminal still has a right to prove their innocence. So that matters don't get worse, you have to listen to what they're saying and know, even if it's not true. With R. Kelly, they turned R. Kelly in. How R. Kelly was able to turn himself in is that he was able to come out and do an interview. So Jay-Z, when they was applying that pressure to R. Kelly said, okay, I'm gonna come, but this, so that they don't make a scene and drag R. Kelly out of the Trump Towers or wherever, they catch him on the street. And they did it in a way where they did not have to show the public their force and how brutal they can get with you when they kind of come and get you themselves with the dogs and the guns and all the drama. So right now, the reason why they're doing this, and I just realized on this social media, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, this is emergency. This is an alert, and they telling you the details of everything that was put out there that these companies have been doing and how they taken in questioning people. And especially now that Jay-Z is attached to all of this stuff behind the scene with Diddy, and now that they got Diddy, and R. Kelly been there for like 6 years now, so he's good, he's safe. But they got Diddy, and now they coming for Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes. Um, it's going to be more. It's going to be more because a lot of people out there talking that Jay-Z knew about a lot of things that Diddy was doing. They were that close in their business connection, not only in business but in the music connection as well. And a lot of things that he knows. Not saying that he participated in doing the things that Diddy were doing. Not saying that Jay-Z was doing things with men and that sort of nature. No, we saying he knows some information about Diddy. He knows some things that Diddy was doing, and he did not try to help. And you could say help. He allowed it to go on and keeping it secret. Um, so that makes him sort of, kind of, whatever, because they were so close. R. Kelly wasn't that close to Jay-Z. They try to say R. Kelly. R. Kelly had to be in your company. This is how public, this is how the business works. These are coworkers. I don't know everything my coworkers do when they go home. I don't know about some of the things they might be involved in. We not close where I could tell my coworkers some all my secrets, about me. There's some things people don't tell about themselves. So the only reason his name is getting involved in all of this is because of what happened to Aaliyah. Now we dealt with his part in them rumors and lies that him and Aaliyah was having a love affair. I mean, they were married, and and they had their marriage annulled because they found out Aaliyah was a minor, and da da da. R. Kelly, all of that stuff, right? So they dealt with that part about um about that, but R. Kelly never really had a chance to really grieve. He never really had a chance because they made him stay quiet about Aaliyah. If you notice, during Aaliyah's death, there was nobody talking about R. Kelly, how he felt about the loss of his protege and the young girl that he worked with. R. Kelly never had an opportunity, and it's so sad it makes me want to cry. He never had a chance to really grieve Aaliyah. And I know in my heart, it hurted him to find out about his death, and he's been holding it inside and hiding behind his music. And then they want to go around and slander him and say all these bad things about him and Aaliyah and all this. That's hurtful. That's harmful to that man's. You are trespassing. So they trying to keep R. Kelly safe. That man never had a chance to really grieve Aaliyah's death. And I remember when it happened, I'm crying because it hurts. It really hurts. I'll cry for him. Could you imagine somebody like family to you, sister, little sister to you, or whatever, and you just had a friendship, and you really cared about them, and you didn't want to see them destroyed by the music industry, and you did everything you can to protect them, and you couldn't even save yourself while you trying to protect them. You couldn't even save yourself. You put your life out there, and that's what R. Kelly did for Aaliyah, because he knew this industry was going to destroy her. And they was all coming at her, and he was fighting them off, the vultures. But then again, nobody been on trial for the death of Aaliyah. For her life. How did that happen? oh, they just buried her and just, you know, had their little celebration of her life or her funeral. They had their little, they think they put on their show in front of the public, all her fans and everything, and people that she worked with, her friends that she worked with in the business. And then that was over. Nobody ever talked about what really happened behind her death, what caused her death. I remember when she was coming back, when she doing the song Rock the Boat, and now they saying that Jay-Z may have something to do with it, because remember, Jay-Z wanted her, and Damon Dash ended up somehow with her, with what they're saying, that Aaliyah and Damon Dash was probably at the time of her untimely death, she died, and then there was some friction in their relationship. And then there was some things with Damon Dash saying to, when R. Kelly was working with that album with The Best of Two Worlds with Jay-Z, um, that it was some friction because of Aaliyah. I'm not saying Aaliyah was at any of the Diddy parties or whatever. And even if she did, she didn't know what was going on. She was there for the fact that she's Aaliyah. She's a little, you know, celebrity, a star and everything, a young star, a young fans, audience, whatever. But other than that, as far as with the Diddy party shit, I don't think everybody went to the Diddy party because Diddy wasn't friends with everybody. Now, most celebrities were at the Diddy parties. I'm going to say just about all of them. They probably popped in to meet up with business with somebody, to check on somebody that was there that invited them and all that. And all his Diddy parties, they said it went on at nighttime, in the night, when the parties would get funky and wild, and people come out and get their party favors or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know about partying like that. Never been to parties like that, in the back of the parties. No, no. But anyway, going back to, now that I was able to get those tears out, because I now what they're doing, and the thing is they want Jay-Z now to turn himself in. And back to the Aaliyah, what I was saying is that when Jay-Z and R. Kelly was on that tour doing the thing, and he kept, coming for R. Kelly or whatever like that, and Damon Dash was already in Jay-Z's head about some stuff about R. Kelly. And so what happened at the tour is that while R. Kelly and him was performing, R. Kelly was able to see somebody sitting, and they was throwing up, signs to him, like they're going to do this to him and they're going to do that. And then he said somebody pulled out a gun. And that's when the whole thing started, like they was fighting and everything else like that, because R. Kelly was like, look, somebody pulled out a gun and I saw them, and they knew that R. Kelly was fighting now some allegations. He had some court cases going on where that tape was going around. He was on court 2002. He was on trial for that tape, and he was also on charges. I got the receipts somewhere on a DVD, CD that I brought, that I was listening to, that's telling the story about R. Kelly and his trials back then, that he was getting in trouble with his trials back then. Okay, Tiffany Hawkins and those young girls that were putting claims on R. Kelly, going to the law firms, filing lawsuits. They didn't go to the police; they went to law firms. So right there, they were fraud. Anyway, this is what this one is going to be about. I have a feeling that's why it's going to be such. They want people to make the public know that they do want Jay-Z, Diddy to have fair trials. They want Diddy and Jay-Z to have fair trials. R. Kelly's just like probably going to just be used in this thing as a witness, not that he's on trial for the same crimes with them, but just the witness, because they already have R. Kelly for 6 years already. R. Kelly's been there already for 6 freaking years. And they had to get him to a place where he could remember certain things, events, scenarios. Because sometimes when trauma like that happens to people, believe it or not, you block it out. Your mind just blocks it out. But you're hurting about it, but it's blocked. But it has to come out because the reason it has to come out so it don't drive you crazy. It don't cause you to get sick. You can't hold on to all of that stuff that happened over the years and abuse to you and things that you couldn't even come out and defend because people were already attacking you. So it got to come out of really what took place with Aaliyah's death. Because R. Kelly wasn't the only man. In the end, R. Kelly wasn't the man she was with. The last moments of her life. And now all of this stuff that's going on around here with Diddy and Jay-Z. Because when Diddy brought Jay-Z around him, oh boy, did Diddy bring some mess. He brought the bad boys. He brought Biggie, Mace, and Junior Mafia, Little Kim, Foxy Brown. No, Foxy Brown is with, was on the side with, over there with Jay-Z. But I'm just like sorting them out. Like he had all of those. And when Little Kim came, she even gave a statement saying that um, after Diddy Biggie died, um, really Sean was Puffy. They call him Puffy. They don't even call him Diddy. They just call him Puffy. He got three characters: Sean, Puffy, and Diddy. Sean, Puffy, and Diddy. Those are his three characters. So they said Puffy um, didn't look out for me after the death of Biggie. I have real. She's talking about her life was hard. She grew up on the streets. That's all she knows is the streets. She said she was kicked out of her family. Her parents were they had a tumultuous relationship, and her father was a very volatile man, and he threw her out on the street. And she was only 14, 15. She had to live from car to car. She had to do what she had to do to hustle on the street with these hard people. Only God knows. I know some young girls that been through that life. I grew up around some young people, and this of her life could be true. That's why she come with her rap so hard, the way she do. And she said, Biggie basically she hooked up with him, and I think she was probably at the time maybe 17 or something years old or 18 years old when she found Biggie, and he took her under his wing, and he always kept her protected and safe. And then it was an image like she always had like low self-esteem, so she wanted to look like what they would look like in the industry so she can continue to stay on top of the market. So this is when she went to the extreme of surgeries, all these surgeries being done to her face, to her body, and everything else like that. And she felt kind of betrayed by Puffy is when he wanted to put her out of the way and bring in Nicki Minaj. It's like it's like, oh my God, this is what you're gonna betray me? You're not gonna still try to reinvent me and make me still compete out there so I can stay on top of the game or whatever, but you're gonna bring some other female in to try to replace me? And I created this. I can't, I'm an original of the females that came with that could get hard on the mic just like any dude can. This is how Kim felt. She felt betrayed. And then she said he didn't even look out to check on her. She was in jail. He didn't send no money, no help, no nothing. She was locked up. He didn't send no money to help her with none of her commissary, none of that. The stuff that little Kim was going through after Diddy abandoned her. You could say he abandoned her. And this could have been things he could have did to save her, to help her. Like come to at least check on her well-being. At least gave her something in her commissary to get so she can have things for what women might need when they are locked up. We women, we bleed. We might need some sanitary napkins, some things. So I'm just saying, like, Why wouldn't you look out for your little girl, little sister? Y'all supposed to be like in that group. Y'all was supposed to be like a family, a team together. And when one is in a situation, y'all supposed to come and look out for one another. Y'all was supposed to be a team together. Y'all had your little family thing together, Junior Mafia, Bad Boy Records, and Uptown Records. Y'all was supposed to be family, cousins, whatever. Y'all was supposed to be a doggone powerhouse together, all of y'all. And of course, Mace had some issues with Diddy over some contract and some money and everything else like that. And Mace was running him down for his money. You know, Mace was like, no, you ain't gonna punk me out of the deal and all this stuff. And I remember when Mace actually did call them out in a church sermon that he was actually a guest at this church is in Harlem on 116th Street, Temple. It's a very popular church in Harlem on 116th Street, and I think they were on 7th Avenue or something like that. Salvation Temple. That's where he was. Salvation Temple in Harlem. And I was there at the service. I only came because Mace had some tea. I only and he brought a lot of people from the church because we doesn't into all the internet stuff. We got our information and outbursts and all the scandal behind the lives of our celebrities or our icons back then. We had it up front. We were right there, so we were right there at the church, Salvation Temple Church in Harlem on 116th Street. I'm giving you this is coming back to me. And Mace came and said, look, he was talking to the young people. I was part of the young people. I'm young. I'm still young then. And he said, this is not what you want to sign up for. He didn't say the word sign up for. He said, you don't want to be in this kind of business with the music. It's horrible things that go on that y'all just don't know about. That's why I had to get out and find myself back here with the Lord. He says, it's sickening. Mace called it out at when he visited at Salvation Temple Church in New York. He brought this out to the public in New York. I wouldn't be surprised if he even went to Al Sharpton and Al Sharpton just took it and they should call him in too. They should call Al Sharpton in too because Mace was out there, so he was out there sounding the alarm in Harlem where Diddy is originally from. Okay? Before his parents and everything moved up into the Bronx and out to Mount Vernon or whatever. But Mace was out there sounding the alarm for 20 something years. Oh, I know they're gonna bring him in. They definitely gonna get Mace to be a somebody that's gonna be a witness. They gonna have him up in there. That's gonna be a big trial. That's gonna be a really big trial. They definitely gonna bring Mace up in there for Diddy. Because that been going on for years, even though the beef is settled. But knowing Diddy, knowing Diddy, even though they think the beef is settled, no, there's still some, there's still some things that are hurting Mace still about what happened to him. And out of the whole crew, I think Mace, out of the males that was in the group, Mace was the youngest. I guess they wanted Mace to bend over. And Mace wasn't doing it because he a little dude and he was one of the youngest. Mace was fighting for his manhood. Mace was fighting for his manhood. You hear what I'm saying? Mace was not playing. But he was the one who came and put it and blew it off the cover with Diddy, and he was doing it way before 50 was here. Way before 50 was there in the spotlight. And back then we got mostly all our information. If it was real big and juicy, we only got the highlights from the news. We didn't get all the inside scoop. Now you get the inside scoop, you had to go and find yourself an article written up about them. or you had to go find buy Vibe magazine or something that had to do with the hip hop magazine or whatever to find out what's going on in their world. It ain't like social media, like everything instantly just comes to you. It didn't come to you like that. You had to work to go find it. You had to really go doing some research in print. Hmm. They used print back then. We didn't use too much media. We used print. And those pictures, those paparazzis used to get their ass kicked coming out there to get the come after these celebrities. They used to break their nose, break their cameras, beat them up, do everything. It's a lot of abuse that went on behind the scene, like for years, decades, decades. The white people over there, they working on Harvey Weinstein and on that's why I said that that's they people. So they out there now. They got Clyde Davis being involved in some of this too because of his relationship with Diddy, his business or friendship or whatever it is with Diddy. So the white people are dragging him for being a part of this, and Harvey Weinstein. But these people, let me tell you something, they knew all along that these people like Harvey Weinstein, they've been in the game longer than Diddy, AZ, and all of them. They've been in the game the longest. And that's what pisses me off is that you gotta know that these people were being, you know, taken advantage of and being mistreated behind the celebrity life. You had to know. 30 years of abuse. These predators been after your children 30 years ago. I call it say they've been after your children because that's what young people do. They like to see things, entertainment, and they be influenced by it. Your children are being influenced by these behaviors of these people. These people are sitting in the spotlight doing some things that should not be allowed for them to do, even while they're doing concerts and everything. Some of the pub things that go on, even the language that are used in some of these rap songs, and even I could say my artist himself should know better because he's an older man, but don't know better. If you people allow you to do it and everybody's doing it, then you don't know if it's right or wrong. But still in all, when this rap stuff started to take a different climate, the young girls coming out there with their booty shaking, with thongs on, booty cheeks out, and Little Kim came to a award performance, and Diana Ross had to check her. She came to the award performance wearing nothing but like a pasty on her nipple of her breast, and the half everything else is hanging out. Diana Ross was like, "What is this?" Even the elders that will show up at these performances will be very disgusted. It's disgraceful. The way they see the young girls, young Miami, what's her name? The one that was Kamala had performing, oh my God, for the votes and shaking her butt and dropping it. And let me tell you, this is shows you when you get into politics, y'all can say whatever y'all want about President Trump, but if that was Trump still in office, some shit would have just had to be shut the freak down. He would not have allowed his, American people culture. And that's what he's trying to do, but they're not allowing him to do it because of what the Democrats already put in place. Why did Kamala, and I see the signs holding up the Me Too government out there, of Southern California somewhere, and who was the DA out there with this Me Too when they was taking down R. Kelly? Your girl that some of y'all wanted to vote for, Kamala, I got the receipts. I got the receipts. When Megan Thee Stallion came out there, she used nothing but celebrities join her campaign. Nothing but the rich and the famous of the black culture of celebrities to support, to endorse her campaign. Why is that? And look at the kind of women she chose to come and perform for her at her campaign. A girl with a reputation of doing some provocative things, performing. These are the kind of black women she put in the front line to show the face of American women, the black women. Oh, yeah. But she's also married to a non black man, and she's fighting for your rights and your opportunities in America for your safety. She cares about you. Oh yeah, she cares about you. She got you out there to get votes, put on the get on the stage, and y'all just turn up. She cares about you. That's the way she want to show you of who you are. And now that they being desensitized and then changing over to a new climate of a government and everything else. Oh, he's a racist. Oh, he's going to segregate this. He's going to da da da. They making all kind of noise for us just to get us out there. And even some of them are like making it look like it's Trump people doing some of the things of neo whatever. When and as soon as Trump came in office, they come in harassing black neighborhoods. With we ain't see this stuff in Trump was in office. All of a sudden he gets back in office and they doing it. It's a trick. That's why black people are sitting back resting and being like, we got to see what's going on. You know, we ain't gonna just jump into something and get ourselves all jacked up. No, we gonna sit back and wait this one out. Y'all wanted him, we got him. Y'all voted for him, we got him. Because sometimes you gotta really pay attention and be careful. Pay attention and be careful, because sometimes you think the people that are your enemies are really truly your friends. Always go always go on the black hand side. I say the black hand side, you know, because we always jump on identity politics and we deal with the lies that we've been told for so many years when they said we were free. We were never free. We were just, it was able to be covered up in a way where it became more unnoticeable that we're still kind of like under the conditions of slavery in a sense. We don't control the banks in the market when we have to go and get our house, buy a house, mortgage rates, all of that other stuff. No, we still kind of like we're getting there though. I mean, right now is our time to shine. But I'm saying, but like Trump said, he wants to drain the swamp. Okay, there has to be some real thorough investigation going on, especially with Hollywood and the music industry. Is so much corruption behind Hollywood. And he's been around for a long, long time. So he knows what these people are doing. He knew, then knew. He should know. But nobody trusts him because they know he's an old man and he's got whatever kind of dementia and other things going on with his health right now. And he can remember, but he knows what these people are about. He knows. And I truly believe that some of the order is coming from him, from his office. Oh, yeah. That they're going to have to clean up Hollywood and clean up. Because these are the lives that are in the front line to um, the American culture. These are the faces to the front line to the American culture, to our music, and some of the things that we live, our social behavior, and everything from our entertainers out there, the things they out there doing, and they don't think it's affecting nobody else, but it does influence people. Your behavior does influence people because we have a young audience watching, and they're gonna follow and the things you're doing. You are setting an example for them, which most kids are influenced by their icons. They're more influenced by them than they are with their parents. Not saying that their parents didn't give them a foundation in values or anything, but sometimes they don't want to listen to their parents. They want to go out there and they want to follow people that really don't mean them no good. And that's how they all get caught in this trap. Like now, Justin Bieber thing, I said, like, people need to stop saying that Diddy is responsible for this kid's weird behavior. He was an adolescent, he's a teenager, and he has every right to be a little weird when he's a teenager because that's what teenagers do. And that was his childhood. He was going through his different moments of growing up in front of the world, in front of the cameras. And teenagers do sometimes go astray. And their behavior becomes a little weird. They don't want to listen to parents. They want to break rules. They don't want to go to, they in the world where they want to just do what they want to do without consequences. So sometimes they just got to go out there and find out the hard way. But him being a minor and all, being under Diddy for 2 days, 48 hours, where was his parents involved in all of this? Because they had some say so to, like, I don't think that's a good idea that my 14-year-old teenage son should be staying with some man's house without my presence being there. Because if anything could happen to my son, I want to be there to defend my son and help my son, whatever. So where were the parents? And y'all want to put all of this on Diddy. And Diddy came in front of the camera that he was going to be with the kid for 48 hours, teaching him some things, and they're going to, things they're not going to share here on the TV or whatever like that. Maybe some personal things that he wanted to talk to Diddy about in the industry, and Diddy was there to take him under his wing and to listen and to help him, and maybe some other things. Well, we don't know. We just going to jump into saying that he was taking advantage of that little boy, and I don't know. Now with the Usher thing, Usher was a grown ass man when he got with Diddy. I mean, he was old enough. I don't know what Usher did when he was a more younger kid, like a teenager, like 14, whatever years old. But I just know that when Usher was coming up in the game as a young man, he used to be around Diddy. He was around them and everything, but I don't think Usher knew a lot of stuff was going on or anything. I think it was basically dealing with him, sharpening him in his career, sharpening him in his work, helping reinventing him and whatever. But I don't know about all of that other stuff about everybody bending over for Betty, because Usher didn't need to do all of that because Usher was already out there. He already had a name for himself. Young teens out there loved Usher. Remember when I was coming up, listening to Usher? Usher sort of kind of like kept a clean image. His image was clean, and I think Bible's image was clean too for the teenagers, for the teens, the little kids. Some still love Bieber or Bieber. A lot of kids still enjoy being around Bieber. And when you probably come to find out, Bieber probably have, because a lot of these star children that you see popping up and stuff, they do have family already in the business. So all we know, Justin Bieber's parents or somebody in his family could be this grandfather. Or Justin Bieber could be related to Clyde Davis or one of them. He could be his grandson. Clyde Davis is old enough. The man almost 90 years old. So yeah, Justin Bieber could be his great-grandson or something. Because some of these celebrities, they got family already in the business. They got children already in the business. And then look at Diana Ross. Her daughter Tracy and another daughter was acting on one of the soap operas, and then her daughter Tracy on the show. And she's been in a lot of movies and stuff. So even her name getting caught up in this stuff. So some of these celebrities, like Jada Pinkett. Look at Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. They kids are in the business. And they around to see what their children are doing. So I doubt very much with that rumor about Justin Bieber and Diddy happened. Because it would have been taken care of a long time ago if it has happened, because you got to remember, race plays a big part in everything in America. A white boy saying that a black man sodomized or did anything to him or made any kind of, sexual advance, I doubt it very much with that one. I really, now with Usher, they could say that, but Usher was a grown kind of like an older boy and an older kid and everything when Diddy was around doing his work with the young people in the industry. So Usher mother had a lot to say when Usher got married to what's her name? Left his wife and the other one and went with the other girl from the industry and got with her. So ain't no telling. And Usher was with them older women. And those dudes they need to be looking at. But other than that and stuff like that, I can't get on the bandwagon with that. I'm sorry. Because a lot of these kids, they got family in the business already. Yeah. So if something like that had really went down with Diddy, believe me, Diddy's career would have been finished long time ago. Long time ago. So that one, they could throw that one out. they they could use Usher as a witness, like if he has witnessed anything being around them or whatever. But as far as that part, that didn't happen. Yeah, so let me play the video of why they going so hard for Jay-Z and Big Bay to turn themselves in.
He's reportedly flipped the script. He's allegedly turning over hotel records, party photos, texts, where Jay-Z brags about breaking in underage girls. He's seething. He wants payback. Now to Beyonce's breakdown. Insiders say she's canceling meetings, scrubbing Jay-Z's name from projects, and consulting divorce lawyers. But there's a problem. Jay-Z allegedly controls her finances. Her escape fund allegedly funneled into shady real estate deals under his name. Remember the bodyguard incident? Her own security allegedly chasing her through a parking lot? Diddy links it to Jay-Z's paranoia that she'd flee with their kids. Jay-Z's got her phones bugged, Diddy reportedly said. Even her meds are tracked. And now...
You know how I know this is a lie? Because Jay-Z and Beyonce's a marriage. What's his name? Knowles, Beyonce's father. He's all in her financial marketing business. Okay, everything she do, her husband don't got no control over that. So they need to stop lying. If anybody they need to be looking at, they need to be looking at. They need to go to Beyonce's dad. The Beyonce dad is the one who basically controls all Beyonce's fortune. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way. Beyonce parents, they on top of the game. They ain't letting Jay-Z do that to their daughter. That's a bunch of crap. That is a bunch of crap. So let's go on.
Diddy's allegedly offering her a way out if she testifies. He told her, "You're either with me or buried with him." But can she risk it? Jay-Z allegedly has...
So Beyonce mother and father been around her career most of her life, been in charge of her career, especially her father, who was their manager, her and Destiny Child, okay? So where is Jay-Z abusing her? Jay-Z can't abuse her on no level, financially, nor can they abuse, he could abuse Beyonce physically or emotionally or anything else like that. She has a very good supporting family system, family mechanism. She has a good family support behind her work in this business with her family. Her mother, her father, her sister Sloan, whatever her name is, believe me, Bay ain't getting her butt beat. Bay ain't getting abused in no kind of way by her husband. If she's standing by her husband, that's because she want to stand by her husband and she believes in her husband and the way it's supposed to be. So they need to stop with that. Now, y'all want Jay-Z to come in. Don't have to put lies, spend more lies and dirt on his name and on her name to get him in. He make some arrangement for him just like they did with R. Kelly. Make an arrangement for him to come out on a platform in the public like they did R. Kelly and ask him some questions about what he know about Diddy. But throwing these and let it come from his own mouth. Don't put the man wife, scandalize her and make her sound like she's some real, Jezebel or some wicked queen behind all this mess. There are small children still involved. You just, doing this. You saying you trying to help the public, but you really not helping the public when you putting stuff out. These kind of ugly, evil scandal behind people's name before they come in, and then they got children being harmed behind all of this too. You want to do it safe. And doing it safely, you have to do it where you can protect the public. Because the world is full of sick people. It's wrong to do it that way. Y'all could do it in a good way where y'all could do it quietly. Y'all could get him to act like he gonna be on a talk show. And put him like y'all did R. Kelly. Set him up like that. Put him on the talk show with Gayle King like y'all used Gayle King before. Why can't you use her now again for Jay-Z? Why can't you use Oprah? Why can't you use somebody's platform that he could come on and he can share his side of what he know about Diddy? And keep his wife's name out of it.
Heard on her too. Videotapes, drug use, stolen vocals. Let's rewind to before Beyonce. Jay-Z allegedly pursued 15-year-old Aaliyah. Damon Dash claims Jay-Z used her, then dropped her. Now Diddy's allegedly handed over love letters Jay-Z wrote Aaliyah, pages of grooming. And Reimer Satterthwaite?
You see what I'm saying? Jay-Z wrote a letter to Aaliyah, pages to groom her. This is what's coming from a bitter, scorned ex. Okay? This is coming from a bitter, scorned ex of Aaliyah. And then on top of that, Aaliyah ended up crashing in a plane crash, somehow or the other. They had to silence Aaliyah. Aaliyah loved her R. Kelly. I'm just gonna say it, y'all. Hey, she had some information. They wanted to destroy R. Kelly, and Aaliyah knew that. They wanted to keep Aaliyah quiet.
The man claiming to be Jay-Z's secret son. His mom was 16, Jay-Z was 22. Jay-Z's reportedly blocked the DNA test. Why? Because it would prove a pattern. Diddy has documents, bribes, hush money, even threats. This is bigger than just Diddy vs. Jay-Z. It's a reported industry-wide cover-up. Remember Cassie's lawsuit, settled overnight? Insiders say it hid tapes of Jay-Z allegedly assaulting minors. Now Cassie's allegedly cooperating with feds, ready to name names. Meanwhile, Beyonce's breakdown continues. She's reportedly meeting with forensic accountants. She's terrified, one insider said. He's moving her tour money into shell companies. She's allegedly found millions missing from her own accounts. And just weeks after Diddy's leaks, she hired a private military firm to guard her Houston properties. Why? Jay-Z's allegedly threatening to leak photos from their early years. He's got everything, a former bodyguard said. Her pills, her meltdowns, even alleged affairs. And Jay-Z's alleged dirt goes further. Diddy reportedly gave up receipts showing Jay-Z paid law enforcement to erase parts of the Solange elevator footage. Remember the 48-hour delay before it leaked? They allegedly removed audio of him slapping Beyonce. And there's more. A new case has surfaced. A victim's sealed medical records are now in play. She was reportedly hospitalized after an encounter with Jay-Z. She's identified other victims, including a famous pop star who allegedly attempted suicide after being assigned to Jay-Z. This isn't just about Beyonce. Diddy wants to expose a pattern. Remember Rita Ora? Lived with Jay-Z and Beyonce at 19, called them second parents. But insiders say it was a cover. Jay-Z allegedly made her sign an NDA banning her from dating. When she rebelled, he blacklisted her. Diddy's named 4 more artists allegedly controlled by Jay-Z, including a Grammy winner who faked a psych break to escape. And now, Beyonce's escape plan is failing. Jay-Z is allegedly one step ahead, using illegal spyware to track her movements, even hacked her private convos with Tina Knowles. He found out she met with a divorce lawyer in disguise, a source said. Now he's threatening to cut Blue Ivy out of his will. And that whiskey brand she launched, Jay-Z's allegedly using it to launder drug money under her name. The feds are circling. Jay-Z's ties to a cartel-linked casino mogul have triggered a RICO probe. Fraud, laundering, bribery of foreign officials. And the twist? Diddy's allegedly wearing a wire in prison, recording calls where Jay-Z reportedly threatens him. He told him, "Your whole family is in danger if you snitch," an inmate claimed. But Diddy, he's laughing, because the feds already have the tapes. Beyonce's last-ditch move? A fake mental health retreat in Switzerland to sneak her kids onto a jet. But Jay-Z's onto her, allegedly hiring a former Mossad agent to sabotage her passports. She's trapped, a family friend said. He told her, "You'll die like Aaliyah if you run." With Diddy's trial months away, the industry is holding.
Y'all, this is as much as I could give you. You could go and watch it. It's on Open Eyes. I believe they've been running this thing all day, 24/7, 24 hours. I've been like getting away from it. My husband's like, "You need to stay away from all of that stuff and get away from all of that stuff." And I'm like, "But, and it's kind of juicy, but it's not right, but it's kind of juicy." You remember I wanted to study criminal law before anyway. I wanted political science and all of that. So yeah, I'm trying to get what I can get from it. But what I'm seeing here, that he's saying that Jay-Z and them got their money on some offshore accounts, you know, that their money is overseas somewhere and that they're using money. Jay-Z is I'm sorry, Beyonce is supposed to be somewhere in Switzerland on some mental health retreat, and the kids are snuck off, whatever, so she can get away from all of this noise and drama and everything going on. And Jay-Z is on to her, and he got all kind of got all these devices on her to know where she's at and whatever. And of course they're gonna put a wire on Diddy. You think they not? They got wires on Diddy. Of course they're gonna put a wire on him. That's why they didn't want to send his ass back out there. you know, they didn't want to send him back out there because Diddy is in a lot of danger. And so if they send him out there, chances are they'll never have a trial. And he's like, if he can make it, because they can put their people in any place. You know what I'm saying? When they want you to shut up and they don't want you to put a snitch out on them, they can probably try to get somebody inside the prisons just to do what they got to do to keep it quiet. That's what they do. I watch those mob movies. They real. The feds are the highest of the gangsters, but then you got the gangsters, the mob. The mob is right there in the industry. You name it. Everything with the mob is right there in that industry. That's why sometimes you just want to get in and just do your thing, show shine and everything, and then leave the rest of that stuff alone. Leave the rest of that stuff alone, because those people are, when the higher you go in your level of your career, the more they're going to try to, because you're getting around the big dogs and they doing a lot of dirty stuff and they can't trust anybody knowing their secrets. So they have to keep you silent. That's why, hey, I'm a poor broke ass woman and I like it that way, because I don't get to see shit. I don't get to see nothing. I just get to hear about it, but I don't get to see it. Like your God, because sometimes you come out, you ain't gonna never be the same. Look at this Orlando Brown dude. He is wacko. Look at what's going on with the other comedian. Look how crazy he going. He got around those people, and now his mind is not. It's like they traumatized. If you wasn't a mental case before you went in there, you're gonna be one when you come out. Because that place is like hell. I mean, as far as you go up with these high sedity, high sophisticated lifestyle people, that life, if you're around it every day, looking at it every day, being around it every day, that life will wear you out. Look at Kim. She's in an early grave. This young mother left her twin daughters and a baby or whatever behind. It's heartbreaking. And when you look at some of the photos they take when they out and everything, none of these women look really happy. They do this all day. Every day life is so boring. Only time they excited about what they doing in their life is when they performing in front of their audience or when they doing a concert. But behind, after the curtains go down and the show is over and they got to go back to their real life, the reality of their life, they are so unhappy. They got so much money and power that they could do whatever they want to do and make it without no limitations on it. Until now, this is a time now for them to get some rest. Because if you're going, when you're in the rich and famous life, what do? They wake up every day. They probably can't even function without putting some pills in their body or having a drink of alcohol or either having to smoke themselves a blunt just to get their day going in the morning because they so bored. There's nothing more for them to look forward to. I mean, they could do things or whatever. That's why the Lord told people about being rich. To order to see Christ and to follow Christ, you have to you got to throw all that stuff away. You got to throw all of that stuff away. Remember, he told the young man, the young rich man, follow me. And the young man said when his mother and father died and all the inheritance that his father is going to leave him and stuff, and then he could follow Christ. He said, anybody that is putting parents before me and anything else is not worthy of me. When you feel it's more important that you could got to get rich quick or get rich to order to follow Christ, then you're not with him. You are dead while you live. Because these rich people with all this money and stuff, they bored. Or they just bored. Life is meaningless to them. That's why they do the things they do. All the sex parties and the drugs and all the things they harm children. And that's another thing I meant to say. I meant to cover that part up. When I said that the Lord is now here, and the thing is that he already talked about in the Bible if anybody harm children will be stoned in the lake of fire with a stone around their neck. Because they small, they innocent, they don't know what they're doing. You're teaching them bad behavior from the beginning of life. You're already ruining them. You're already destroying them. You already killed them before they even came out in the world to grow, to experience life and see things for themselves. You already destroyed an innocent life. To have little kids come to your party and perform little favors for grown men and maybe some women too. Anybody that harm little children, it's disgusting. So anyway, y'all, I got to get myself together and go do some things at the library. So I will be back with y'all later on, if God's willing. I just wanted to just share with y'all this morning about what's going on right now about Jay-Z and Beyonce, how the feds are really on them and how they sounding out an alarm like an alert for Jay-Z to turn himself in. Just turn yourself in, Jay-Z. Okay? If you come across this video, just turn yourself in. Have them arrange you do something like go on a platform on one of the platforms, Gail King, Oprah, maybe even The View. Maybe even The View to give your side of the story of what's taking place right now. Um, Try not to make it so dramatic. A lot of drama like they did Diddy with the police and guns and all of those people in that. and they uniforms or whatever, having guns pointed to his kid's head and all that stuff. It was horrible. It was just not a good thing to look at. So turn yourself in on a platform, go down like a king, and just you know just say to them and everything, I'm ready to come forward. I'm ready to do a talk show with somebody about all these allegations on my head, and bring your attorneys with you. That's all. Just have your attorneys right there with you. Don't be like R. Kelly. They left as soon as they got him there. Steve Greenberg went and ran somewhere and hid. His attorney was there, but they weren't there to support him. They were there to set him up. Jowell Johnson, Baby Powder, and Steve Greenberg and them, when they did R. Kelly, they put the two girls out there first. I mean, they put R. Kelly out there, then they brought the two girls, Azarel and Joy. And then from there, when R. Kelly, when the thing was all done and R. Kelly and them was leaving, he was ready to try to get back into his Sprinter. They came and they got him, and they try to get him. They try to say it was for child support. You see how they throw it in there with Diddy about the son, that the DNA that he blocked it. So they're gonna get him on something. They probably gonna try to do it where they're gonna use this son, this estranged son that he had, that's out there, and the boy looked just like Diddy. You can't deny that one. He looked just like, he spit him out his mouth. But from the girlfriend he had, Wanda. So back in the days in the hood up in Brooklyn. So they're gonna get him to come forward. They're gonna try to put him on the stage in front of the world like they did R. Kelly. And they are going to, when he comes out of the studio, wherever, is when they're gonna make they move and take him in on child support. Then they're gonna come for him later on, quietly. That's how the feds move. So anyway, yeah, they're gonna come quietly. They just see if he, so they don't cause him such a scene. They did that to R. Kelly. R. Kelly waited to R. Kelly to go out, come out on his own to go walk his dog, and that's when the feds took him that night in custody. Yep. So anyway, y'all gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. I'll talk with you all later. You all have a blessed and wonderful, wonderful morning. And if God's willing, where I got something going on here, y'all. Well, I actually can't see nobody's name in the comment section. So all of you that just came in, please hit the like button, like. Now, if you want to go and see this full video that I have been sharing with you, it's called Open Eyes. And of course, I know this is the feds. So they are trying to get the attention from the public. And then on top of that, they are also trying to get Jay-Z and Beyonce to turn themselves in for questioning, because they said Diddy is in there. They got Diddy in custody and they got him wired. So whenever he make any phone calls, they can hear the conversation, what's going on. They already put that out there, Jay-Z, so they moving in on you real soon. They don't want to make it a public thing. They don't want to make it a public, like all the people are out there watching this. They just want to do it with silence and with class or whatever. So anyway, y'all gotta go. God bless you. Have a wonderful afternoon.